As of time of this recording, it's the bottom of the 8th and the Marlins are down 9-2 against the Mets. So that brings me some light and comfort. But really, it was just horrendous what happened yesterday. Cubs lost control of their own destiny by blowing a 6-0 lead against the Braves. Losing 7-6 against the Braves doesn't look that bad on paper, but they blew a massive lead that they had because the Cubs outfielder Suzuki had an error. He could have very easily have gotten them out, and then the Cubs would have been able to hold down at least a 6-5 lead and win the game. It's going to be a real shootout between the Cubs and the Marlins. However, there's reasons to believe that the Marlins are going to be able to squeeze away with the number 6 spot over the Cubs. There's reason to be very scared for the Cubs. The Cubs have to play 2 division winners, 2 teams that have mathematically won the divisions to end the season. The Braves, who, again, look to be favorites to get the number 1 seed, and who very likely are going to finish under 60 losses for the entire season. They've already clinched 100 wins, likely to finish under 60 losses, and then the Milwaukee Brewers, who are still almost certainly going to have a 90-win season, and they have to play both games away. So do the Marlins, but they're playing the New York Mets and the Pittsburgh Pirates, 2 teams that are mathematically eliminated from the playoffs. It's tight right now in the National League wildcard race because I'm pretty sure the Padres and Giants are both eliminated, and to be quite honest, if they're not, then they're like very close. But Diamondbacks, Marlins, Reds all have tiebreakers over the Cubs. They're all in very tight competition for 2 spots because the Phillies clinched the wild card spot. So the Phillies will be back in the playoffs for the 2nd year in a row after their more than a decade of absence from the MLB playoffs. Brewers coming back after a 1-year absence, winning the NL Central Division title. We have that going on, and it's just a really ugly situation all around because we need to hope that the Marlins can't pull it together. But the other thing is that if in a position where if over these next 5 games, assuming that the Mets don't blow this, which would be really stupid if they do, but even if they don't, if the Marlins win 1 more game than us during the stretch, they make the playoffs. It's going to be hard. Both the Cubs and Marlins fans know this, and it's anxiety-inducing for both of us. But there's reason to believe that the Marlins are going to get it over the Cubs. It's going to be very hard for us to take down the Diamondbacks. Considering that they're ahead of us, they're also playing easy teams like the Chicago White Sox. And guess what? Diamondbacks also have to... Diamondbacks also have the tiebreaker over the Cubs. And really, it really was the Diamondbacks' humiliation of the Cubs that put us in this very vulnerable position approaching the playoffs. If the Cubs don't make it, I'm going to be very upset. I'm not even an Orioles fan or a Twins fan, and to be honest, I like both teams equally. I'll just put my support towards them in the American League version of the playoffs. As of right now, Twins clinched division, and the Orioles and Rays have both clinched wild card spots. No team in the AL West has clinched between the Rangers, Astros, and Mariners, and realistically Rangers or Astros at this point. One of the teams has got to win the division. The other team will be likely moving on to the wild card round. There's 2 wild card spots open. We got one for the, we have the 2 wild card spots open. So Rangers, Astros, Mariners, one of them has to win the division, and the Mariners might have already been eliminated from that contention, although they might still have a chance with, who they're playing against. And then between them, the 2 teams that don't make it, as well as the Blue Jays, look to make the playoffs. At this point, my prediction is In the National League, the 5 seed is going to go to the Arizona Diamondbacks, who will be making their first playoff appearance since 2017. And the 6 seed, I hate to say it, I know I'm a Cubs fan, but I don't have enough confidence at this point that we can actually pull it off. Maybe if we gain ground on the Miami Marlins, I'll change my mind and I'll change my prediction. But I think that the Marlins are going to be able to escape with the number 6 seed, and this would be a truly heartbreaking September collapse for a team that no one thought could be a playoff contender, and we wound up stunning everyone with our amazing August, and yet fading away. And honestly, I like the Mariners too. They've had a similar heartbreaking story in September after a major surge into being considered a serious team in August. Speaking of the American League, the AL East winner, who will therefore get the number 1 seed, I predict is going to be the Baltimore Orioles. Considering that if things go right for them, they could clinch it tonight. They would need a lot to go in their favor. They would need themselves to win and for the Tampa to lose. I think that the Rangers are going to get the 2 seed with the AL West. Again, they could clinch it tonight if they win and the Astros lose. 3 seed has been locked up. Oh, and internationally, if I tell you, I think Braves are going to get 1 seed, and they could get it tonight with a win and a Dodgers loss. Brewers are pretty much locked into 3. Phillies are locked into 4. The what's it called? I think that the 4 seed is probably going to go to the Rays. 5 seed I think is going to go to the Blue Jays, and I think the 6 seed is going to go to the Houston Astros. That's right. I think the Mariners are going to be kicked off, and it would be really nice to see a team that struggled for multiple decades and had multiple decades of futility finally be able to make it back to the playoffs. But I just don't think that the Mariners can do it. They've been really slugging along, and it's been really hard for them to assert their dominance. But faith is not totally lost. They could still wind up having a chance to go at it, but it's not very likely at the moment that Seattle can make the playoffs. And the Astros are at 6, so maybe they'll snap their 6-year streak of making an ALCS appearance. It's very hard to say because for the Twins, if they're going to break their playoff win drought and if they're going to be able to potentially actually make it past the wild card round, it's hard to say for the Twins if they'll be able to do that. Some big reasons is who are they going to be playing, because playing the Mariners is probably going to be easier for them to slip off against. So the Rangers probably there, and who knows, maybe they could, be taking on someone else. But like, if the Twins have to take on the Astros, they're probably done for. And if the Twins have to take on a team like the, Blue Jays, that also might be hard for them. So it's hard to definitively say whether or not the Twins will be able to escape. So again, as this playoff bracket develops, it'll be very interesting to see what happens. And may our prayers be with the Chicago Cubs.